to put that that clip of you falling off your chair in the chat.
We'll send it by email
that,
to everyone.
please.
It'll be really funny.
CC me.
It was classic.
My chair broke on me. I just leaned back, and then all of a sudden I was on the ground.
You stop ordering from Amazon Basics, Noah.
Okay, let me share my screen. All right. So thanks everybody. This is the AI Boardroom episode 8, and it is September 24th, 2025. So I want to welcome everybody, and again, as always, I'm excited to see everybody. Welcome to the AI Boardroom. And just, obviously most of you know who I am, Kensei Kuhn, owner and founder of Northstar Technology Group. We are 25 years old here in 2025. And I want to let everybody know too that if you guys are in the Fargo-Moorhead area, to be expecting some sort of invitation from us about our little soiree that Amber is throwing at her house. Just kidding. It will be at Bruhala.
It'd be very little at that point.
It will be at Bruhala on November 6th, and we will be basically celebrating with food and drink and a little bit of conversation about what's happening in the world of cybersecurity and AI. We are an Inc. 5000 recipient back-to-back, Faces of Cybersecurity, and I just want to introduce you guys again. We've got Andronique on our team. She's always a resource for you guys, especially when it comes to getting your AI GPAs scheduled out. We've got Noah, who is leading the development team on the AI platform, which we've got a lot of super, super cool stuff coming out here soon. And we have Amber, who, again, will be hosting our party on the 25th in her garage. Just kidding. But again, we ask this every week. It's still relevant, right? Most of people that are attending this, right, or are honestly in leadership positions at small to medium businesses that either we manage or we don't, are feeling overwhelmed, right, by how many AI tools there are. Everybody seems to be talking about AI. Everyone has an amazing quick fix, right, for all of your operational and time and value friction needs. But this is why we created the AI Boardroom, right, to kind of help sort through some of that noise, to brainstorm ideas on how we all can better use AI. And obviously, the goal is to be able to leave with maybe better questions and a clearer path, right, on how you can use AI in your businesses. So today we're going to be doing some refreshers like we always do. So for those of you that are common attendees, again, welcome your patience, but it's always good to go through some of these refreshers. We're going to be talking about the Drive framework. Again, it's all about making better prompts, garbage in, garbage out, fixing that issue to get better answers from your AI chat tools. But today the topic is really going to be about the future of storytelling in the AI age. And specifically, we are going to be talking about, and I'm going to be showing you the presentation tool Gamma. Gamma is the presentation tool that you are seeing this presentation on. But I thought it would be kind of interesting because it is such an amazing tool that I have become very fond of over the last few months, that maybe you guys might think it'd be interesting and valuable to kind of see behind the scenes how Gamma works and if it is something that would be useful for your business. And then we'll wrap it up with some Q&A. But that is kind of what we're gonna go through. So we always talk about how, from our perspective, AI is kind of broken down into two value buckets. The first bucket is your AI chat, right? This is how most people use AI, right? ChatGPT, either a paid or free version of Microsoft Copilot, or it could be Grok, or Claude or any number of AI tools, and most people use it conversationally, right? You got a blank screen, you type in something, it provides some sort of answer, right? Maybe it is as simple as I need a recipe for dinner tonight. This is what I have in my fridge, right? Last week, I think we talked, or a couple weeks ago, we talked about Angie Noel using the tool to plan a trip, right? Identifying what is a good itinerary, right, for a specific vacation they're having, right? But you're using it conversationally. You're asking a question, or you're trying to get something back, right? And you talk to it. The second value bucket, right, is the AI automations around the technical platform and being able to automate and use AI in a more integrated business setting, right? Where it's actually learning and training on your data. It is integrated through development or coding with your tools, right? And it is becomes more of a business function, right? So it's very, very specific to your company. And again, we're not going to really be talking a lot about that today. We're not really going to be talking too much about the prompting, except for us creating some ideas, which I'm hoping that you guys could provide some input on our demo presentations that we're going to create in a little bit. And again, I know this is called the AI Boardroom, right? But what we're really all here for is how to make our businesses better, right? Be faster, more profitable, more efficient. And the first step is understanding business challenges. What problems do you need solved? Who would you hire if money, retention, and recruitment were not needed, right? And the process to figure that out and help refine that is what we call the AI GPA. And again, I always tell you this is an exercise you can do on your own, or we can help you. There's members already here that we are neck deep, right, in this AI GPA process. And I like to tell people it's definitely a marathon. It's not a sprint. But it is definitely something that is useful as an exercise to kind of understand, are you ready for AI? And what are some cool ideas specifically for your business that AI could really be helpful with? And of course, the result of that hopefully is a plan that just works. And a plan, though, without actual implementation is useless. So we want to make sure you guys succeed. And we're here to help any way we can. So again, just a quick reminder, the Drive framework, I'm not going to dive into this. You can go into your ChatGPT right now, your Copilot, and you can just start typing away, right? And that's, at least you're doing something. And I always encourage people that you should be using AI to some capacity in a conversational setting every single day, right? The challenge that I ask you, and I try to tell my team is, if you're presented with a task, ask yourself, how can AI help me do this faster and better? And a good start is to start prompting your AI chats, right, to solve different problems. So what is Drive? Again, it's just an acronym that we use to help you make better prompts. First is the D, defining your problem or scenario. And I kind of have an example here. And why are people quitting? Why is churn so up? That's our problem. The R is telling AI what job to take. If I was asking AI to give me a stand-up comedy script, I'm not going to assign the role as an accountant, right? Or if I want to find out what's going on with my profit and loss reports, I'm not going to give it the job of a comedian. Assign it a job, right? What person in the real world would you ask, right, to solve this particular problem? The I is unique. I like this part, right? You basically tell your ChatGPT or Copilot, interview me. I like to say one question at a time, up to 2, 3, 4, 5 questions to gain clarity. And that tells ChatGPT or your AI tool to ask you questions, right? That you'd be surprised. Like I do this every single time. And I think, the guys on my team that use this are pleasantly surprised, right, of the types of questions that AI will come back, because it actually kind of makes you think through, what is it that I'm really asking here? The V is having AI assign a voice, right? And I talk about this as, do you want the hard truth? Do you want it entertaining? Do you want it inspiring? Fit the voice to the scenario. And finally, the E is tell AI what you exactly want from this. In this case, it's like, give me a 90-day action plan to help reduce my turnover. Make sense? So today we're going to talk about Gamma. And we all know that what we present matters, right? Whether it is to investors, whether it's to our board of directors, to stakeholders, our own teams, all of this stuff matters. But there's two big pressures that I think we all face, and it's always constant. And that is we don't have a lot of time, right, to create highly engaging, visually attractive, and clear presentations. And we also have this incredible high expectation that these presentations need to be polished. So what if we could do both, right? What if we could have speed and beauty, right? Would that be worth it to you? I'm sure many of you guys have been part of presentations where it's been a PowerPoint, right? People use the phrase death by PowerPoint, right? Where it is just absolutely awful, right? Either it's so boring or so plain, right? Or the information is just not what you want. But presentations still remain a powerful tool, right? To influence people and to inspire people. Even in particular during the age of AI, a compelling narrative that you can build through presentations can transform boring data into actionable insights, helping guide the audience, right, to whatever outcome that you desire. Strong visuals can simplify complicated ideas, which help build trust, right, and ensure whatever message that you have is resonating. And of course, we want to be able to do that, right, in minimal time, right, where we can get the most of this stuff done without spending forever on this. So meet Gamma. Gamma is a platform, right, that we use. We use it every day. Underneath, you said that you're starting to like Gamma. Like you use this tool every day as well, right?
I actually really enjoy it because I hate building my own presentations.
No,
So
it's awful. Yeah, it's awful. And one of the things that I always come back to in your AI journey is where AI, because I'm not saying that AI is going to solve every single one of your problems and do all of your work for you, right? But don't you agree? And I'm going to ask my team this, right? The hardest part, and I'm going to talk about presentation specifically, is going from a blank screen to your first draft of something, right? Don't you guys agree? Like that's the hardest step because once you kind of get a draft, right?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to go back and start tweaking something that's already there and adjusting versus just like that endless void.
Yeah,
well,
Like,
and
where
it
do
gives
I
you like
start?
little
You know?
ideas. Yeah, little ideas too of like just okay, maybe this is the direction I wanted to take instead of this direction. The
Yeah.
possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and I know that for me, and whether 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we talked about proposal, or maybe it was 4 weeks ago or whatever, I don't know. But we talked about how to process a request for proposals and build a proposal from an RFP, right? Same thing, like how do you get from a blank page to at least draft one, and then you can kind of go through and modify it and put your own tone and stamp on it. That's where Gamma excels when it comes to presentations. And we'll go through this, but there is an amazing amount of templates, design elements. It can pull AI and generate and build its own visuals. You can use your own images, of course. It automatically adjusts the layouts based on the content and your screen size. And Gamma 3.0 just came out, and there's some cool stuff that I'll show you in a bit. The agent, right, which is actually an internet aware piece of AI that can go out and get information and data right from the internet to update your presentation. And there's a new functionality that allows you to integrate through application programming interface APIs the Gamma presentation tool to where your data sources are. So imagine you've got a board meeting, right? And you've got all this data, right? And you could shove it into a folder, right? You've got Gamma, right? That's tied to that folder that can then pull all that stuff into a dynamic, adaptive, visually attractive presentation for your board. And do this in relative minutes instead of hours that it used to take. So here's kind of how we're going to go through this. Again, I have no structure at all to this, so we're just going to run with this kind of how we use Gamma. But we're going to try to build something from scratch, right? So I'm going to ask you guys if you could come up with some ideas, and this could be my team, it could be customers or whoever's prospects that are on this call. But I want to try to take something from scratch, an idea, and build a presentation and show you how simple it is to use Gamma. And this will be done all in real time. And so, Noah, you know how this goes, right? When you do a technical demo, a live technical demo, how sometimes this stuff works. But
It goes smooth every time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, every single time. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing this screen. And we are going to go into another one. Okay, yeah, second here. Okay, so for those of you that have not ever seen Gamma, this is the interface. It's relatively simple. I created a demos folder here. We've got some folders of some of the stuff that we've been creating. Obviously, this shows all of our Gammas, which is basically our presentations. It'll show Gammas that people have shared with me. You can actually build landing pages and websites using Gamma. I think I might have created one in here. So like here's an AI boardroom, but this is just like a landing page, but you can actually build web-based stuff within Gamma. You can build documents, you can modify things and make them more visual. It's an amazing platform. But to kind of give you a sense of how this works, so we're going to go and we're going to click on create new using AI. I can create a blank presentation just like I can in PowerPoint, and you can use some of the AI features, right, to create the slides. You can import certain data into it, different themes and other stuff, right, like your own pictures or your own logos. But we're just going to go through by creating a new AI. So I'm going to actually, we're going to do, I'm going to steal one that I did because I know it works. So first of all, the main use of this I usually use is the paste in text, right? Where I've created some sort of prompt, and we'll if we have time, we'll go through that. But that's where you get like more meatier, more detailed presentation, right? But if you click on generate, I can generate a presentation, a web page, a document, or social media post, right, within the tools. And what I think is cool, I'm going to make this just 5 cards, but you can say a card is essentially a slide in Gamma. But let's just, I'm going to do a presentation on a healthcare journey using nutrition and smart exercise. So very simple, right? And you can put as much detail as this, but say you want to create a presentation on any topic, it will generate an outline for you based on that, of which you can modify, right? And again, it's pulling, this is all AI generated, right? So it's pulling information from its training and from the internet. And it allows you to create, it creates these slides. Now, the more detail you give that sentence prompt, of course, the more detail the slides are going to be. But I just wanted to show you how simple this was. And then, of course, you can pick the different types of templates, right? And I'm just going to use the one that we use a lot, but there is dozens and dozens of templates. And then all you do is click generate. And again, this is created a presentation on a topic that I may or may not know anything about, right? But it will help us. It'll utilize AI to actually understand and create this for us. And you can see it building it as you go. I'm glad I only did 5 slides.
But I mean, just imagine having to do 5 slides
Yeah.
on your own.
Yeah, so I just created a attractive, potentially engaging presentation. And how long did that take? 2 minutes. And again, this is on a topic I know nothing, and I just typed in 1 sentence, right? I mean, it creates it gives you images that match, right? Very, very, very super simple. And I've got one that I built last night, right? Underneath, can you connect into that? So one thing that I want to show too is that multiple people on your team. So once you've created one of these presentations, you see how easy that was, can collaborate on that. So underneath, can you change that to your health and wellness journey?
Yes.
Just like that, right? And so we can be collaborating within this tool and create these presentations. And one of the things that, well, again, the cool thing is this concept of this agent, right? So I can click on this and give this agent instructions to do certain things, right? You know, here's some examples I could do: find related case studies, or even these are just the defaults, but I could say, you know, correct my spelling and grammar, or I want to change the image to something else.
You could even do like, if you want to switch slides, like what I've been doing when I've been playing around with this is like, hey, change slide 6 over to slide 3, swap the slides.
Yeah. So yeah, swap slide 6 with 3. I'm trusting you that this is not going to blow up my demo.
And then somehow, and I don't know how I got it to do this, but
Yeah, see, that worked.
see, yeah, it's awesome. You're able to move around the pictures too. So let's say you want the picture on the right-hand side rather than the left-hand side. You can also say change on slide. I always like to put the slide number. So like, let's say slide 5, put the picture on the right side rather than or the left side rather than the right side.
Yep, and you can also, if you go in and edit with AI, you can tell I want to try a layout, right? And so then it'll give you different layout options, and this takes a little bit of time, right? But you can see it'll prompt you for different ways to make that same slide look slightly different. Like, I like that version. This AI guy looks a little yonky there, but yeah, so literally that is how you can create a slide with very little information. Now I'm gonna show you guys. We're gonna go out to ChatGPT, and I'm gonna have you guys help me create an idea. And I can't see people's screens, so I'm gonna share the screen again. This is our Drive AI assistant, right? And you guys, for those of you that have been here, this is a custom GPT that I created to kind of help go through that prompting process. So we're going to start, and I'm just going to go through this, and I'm going to have you guys, and underneath, maybe if you could help lead this with the people, but we're going to said I need to create a gamma presentation. We're just going to start simply like that. What role should we apply this to? storyteller, I think that'd be perfect. So we're going to make it a storyteller. And then what I like about our Drive framework, it actually gives you ideas, right? So remember when I went through this and I said you can assign it a job, it kind of gives you potential ideas of who you want to assign that role to. Now it's going through the questions. So underneath, who is our audience?
Let's see. Are we
'Cause
keeping
we're
it in
just-
healthcare or anything?
Nope, whatever you want. Any idea. So we're just going to create a Gamma prompt that I'm going to then put into Gamma. So this could be on any topic. So
So many opportunities here. Let's make it a small audience of comedians.
all right. Small audience of comedians. I like it. Comedians. Okay. And what is the core message from this presentation that we're building, which I don't know the topic yet, but what is the message or idea that you want these comedians to walk away with after we're done talking to them?
Let's have them understand how to, what is it called? Improv, like how to build improv relationships with their audience.
Okay. How to perform improv with their.
So like maybe communication skills.
Yeah, we'll just like to see what it does. What are key data points, anecdotes, or visuals, or we could say we don't know, or surprise us, or whatever you think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me get back to that. Let's see. Core message or idea, and then what is? I can hardly see it. My
It
eyes
just
are
says
bad.
what are the key data points, anecdotes, or visuals, and I could just say you can surprise us.
Yeah.
Let's say surprise us. All right, so it summarizes. We have a small group of comedians, right, that we're trying to create a presentation for. The goal is to help them understand how to do improv. And we are open to surprises. So AI is going to bring a twist or a fresh visual idea. What should the voice be? Playful, bold, edgy, sincere, poetic.
I think it should be a communication specialist. So I'm trying to think of like someone who is in the communicative world. Can't think of anyone
Can
right off the
make
bat.
educational,
Mm-hmm.
edgy. I think that might see what it gives us. All right. Now, what's the end game? So the end game is, so it's asking me, what exactly do you want as a final output? A full Gamma slide deck and outline. I'm going to do full Gamma slide deck. And it's going to create this right now. What's interesting is we're going to put this into Gamma, but you can come back to this chat and ask it to create talking points, speaker notes, all kinds of different things. You can have it say, I need a one-page leave behind infographic, or any number of things. You can come back because it has AI now has the context of this conversation. So I'm going to copy this. And we're going to go into demos. I'm going to go into create. You guys can still see right underneath that change over.
Yeah, I can. Yep,
okay,
looks good.
Okay, so I'm going to go into paste in text. We're going to make a presentation. Just pasting in the info that I got from our ChatGPT. We're going to generate from those notes. And there's other things you can do. And I'm going to go to the prompt editor. And this is where you can edit. So each of these is a slide, or they call it a card, right? I'm not going to make any changes, but I'm going to let's just make it sprout as the template, right? But again, I can click and there's all kinds of different templates that you can use. And then I'm just going to create the presentation. Let's see how long this takes.
I should have been timing it.
I know.
Oh,
Wow.
no. And even if with 15 cards, my brain just consistently goes back to, I remember doing these presentations for other things, and 15 cards or 15 slides took forever, even if I knew the topic really well. I was like, gosh, it's just so annoying having to fiddle around with trying to figure out the placement of things and what color scheme you want and so on and so forth. Especially if you have more of a creative mind, I feel like it becomes even more complex because you enjoy spending time with the creativity aspect of doing a slideshow. So at least this kind of like helps cut the time down on that side too.
Yeah, I mean the longest part of this process so far is just waiting for it to render all of these slides, right? Like, of course,
go
it
make
takes
yourself
time
a cup of coffee while you're waiting for it.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. One thing that I think you're going to notice in the AI world is that's true, right? Like it's going to provide a bunch of time back for you. And I'm not saying that you spend it on going to get coffee. But the whole idea, of course, of AI automations and some of these things that we've been talking about is to get that time back, right? And so as it's building this presentation, that's time that we're just chatting now, right? But we could be working on something else, or we could be getting a cup of coffee, or whatever it is, right? But the whole idea is that we're leaning on technology and the automations and AI, right, to build this step. Now, the best part is, of course, is that you continue to keep the human in the loop. So once this whole thing is, and I should have limited to a shorter number of slides, but you guys are getting the idea. So we could have told ChatGPT that I only want this to be 5 slides or 3 slides or 20 slides or whatever. But you can see how simple it was to go through using the Drive framework to create a prompt for Gamma to create a presentation on a top, like, this is a great topic, right? Like, I know nothing about it, right? I'm not a comedian. Although Amber, remember when we did that improv thing at Rose Creek?
That was before my time.
What? That was Nikki?
Yep. I've heard about it, but yeah, that was before me.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the closest thing that I have to improv is we had a group of improv group come in and do a Christmas party thing for us, which was fun. But you can see, like, creating these notes and creating these slides, and I'll show you how to create the notes based on this too once it's done. I apologize. I didn't realize how many slides this was.
It says it's like at 94%, I think it says. At the bottom right-hand corner, it tells you the percentage.
It's right. So you can see it's created the images for you, the structure, and again, I told you how you can go in, we could change the theme if we wanted to anything else that we like. We can go into the agent and have it change different things. There's sidebar thing where we can add different elements. Here's smart diagrams. So this isn't anything because this would be more data driven, but you could see all of these tools are available to you to be able to create this stuff. And one thing that's kind of neat too is you can have it create your notes for you. So right here, you can click this add notes, and you can use AI to actually generate your slide notes for you. And again, you're going to want to review these, right? Because sometimes it's like this slide describes, right? But the thing is that you could go from having honestly no idea, right, about a topic, or maybe you are experts in that topic and you need to create this presentation. But how long did that whole thing take?
Like 7 minutes tops from Drive to the end point of this.
Yeah, seven minutes, right? And you've got a draft. Now imagine if you had to do a presentation on even a topic that you are very, very well versed in, and you're starting from a blank PowerPoint slide, how much more difficult that would be.
7 minutes just brainstorming what your first word is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if there's anything that somebody wants for me to try or see within Gamma. But again, I highly recommend if you do presentations, enough presentations, we do them every day, right? That you take a look at Gamma, and again, the new version is 3.0. And Gamma has, I think, a free version, and they've got, I think, a couple tiers of paid versions, and the paid versions allow for more slides, essentially, right? So this one is 20 slides. You would not be able to do that, or 15 slides. You would not be able to do that with the free version. And then, of course, there's some, I think, limit on the number of presentations you can create with some of the free or less expensive options. But yeah, I mean, I think this is super cool.
Yeah, and never let your mind like limit the opportunities that you have too. Because when I was going through my Gamma yesterday, and I was like, well, why don't I just use the Drive format in Gamma to create like a different tone for the audience that I was going to be presenting that slide that slide to. So just using a different voice, using a different tone, and getting that engagement, and just putting Drive into your Gamma.
Yeah, and you can use the agent, to even change tone of your slides too, right? And again, this is also internet connected, and it'll allow you to make pretty much any type of change, right, that you could think of, or anything that you're interested in. The agent, which again, it's a beta version right now. So I will be the first to admit there's some quirks, when you start using it. Underneath gave a great tip about specifying which slide you want the agent to work on, because even if you pick a slide, right, where it's bordered in blue, and even if you use the edit with AI, right, this ends up being the agent. Sometimes it still tries to do some stuff in another slide. So there's a little, there's a few bugs that needs to work through. But man, I can't tell you how much time this has brought back. Plus created, I think, far more interesting and attractive presentations. Like here's an example. I'm going to make this slide more visual. So what it does is it takes graphics or words and adds images. And I'll be the first to admit it's running a little slow today, but
Well, I feel like this is good.
yeah.
Anything's better than creating it yourself.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll keep those images, but maybe I want to, oops, see, there's the little bug part, which slide I was on. This one. I'm going to change, I want different layouts. So this is the original, and then it'll give you opportunities to check something else out. And there is, if you can see my screen here, there is an app, right? So you can load it up in the app on your workstation versus the browser, but I typically just run it from the browser.
Yeah, the browser's easier for sure.
And what is kind of neat too is you can see, like, this is a big screen, right? So PowerPoint, each slide is kind of limited, right, by the slide size. In this case, you can see like these are bigger ones, but like this one here, right, is relatively small. Like the slide size is small, and then this final one, it's large, but you can scroll through that when you do the presentation. So when I do a presentation, I can have, and I think that creates a little bit more interesting presentation element, because I don't know, like there's just something about being able to have a larger image and be able to kind of scroll through this stuff. But anyway, I'm going to get back to our presentation, but that is essentially Gamma in a nutshell. And like I said, we've been using this now for, get back to our spot here. We've been using this internally now for several months, and we've seen a couple of different iterations of it, and it's I think it's just fantastic. So does anybody have any questions at all about this? We have no stake at all in Gamma. I highly recommend going to check it out, at least demoing it if you create presentations at all.
Do you know how much the base plan costs?
If you're asking me, I don't. If you have access to, if you could tell the audience, that would be even better.
I'll look it up.
I was going to ask too, you might have shown it earlier and maybe I missed it, but was there a spot like to upload your specific branding so that it saves it each time?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, you can create your own templates with your brand. You can upload all of your images, so those are usable in any of your cards or presentations. Yep.
I just put
How
the
many
pricing
hours
in
do
the
you think
chat.
you've totally saved, Ken, for how much you
How many
use this?
how many hours? Yeah, I will tell you. So here's one of those interesting topics of conversation, right? Because we are talking about AI, right? And of course we have to use AI, right? If we're gonna walk the walk. So this presentation that I created for Gamma, I went from I'm going to talk about Gamma to being completely done. It couldn't have taken me 30 minutes. And that's probably a long estimate because I bet I think I probably went and I moved some slides around because we've kind of have the basic template of our slides. So we've got the ending stuff, right, where we talk about the AI GPA. We have this QR code, right, to book a meeting. And at the beginning, we've got kind of our title slides and all that stuff. So if I was going to be like, I'm just going to create a whole brand new presentation, because what I did is I ended up just creating slide by slide. And maybe there's an easier way to do it, right, where you've got slides here and slides here, and you want to take all that content and put it in here. I just used the agent, right, and I took the ChatGPT prompt for each slide and created those slides one by one. And again, it took seconds per slide, right, but max half an hour. So I mean, just in presentation creation, just for the AI boardroom, I bet I've saved, I mean, over 4 months, probably 25 hours. And I don't think that is an underestimation at all. Like, and this is just one tool, right? But the whole idea, of course, is to talk through these things, understanding where you spend your time, be able to recommend what tools make sense, make sure we're building up and managing the risk, and make sure you're ready for that, right? Because, especially when we start doing stuff that integrates with your data. But yeah, that's a great question, but at least 25 hours over the last 4 months. I mean, that's almost a work week.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah,
And it
it's
looks like
huge.
Noah put the cost of it in the chat for anyone that wants to take a little look at it.
Yeah. Take a peek. Any questions that anybody has at all?
Now that is something you'd want it. I mean, you would definitely want to be checking this, say if you're putting, doing kind of an internal presentation or to a board where you're including sensitive data of your own.
Mhm.
I mean, you definitely want to make sure that your systems are secure and all of that
Yeah.
before you do
Yeah, and the
something.
entire idea of the AI GPA, right, is to understand these cool ideas, right, where we can save massive amount of time with some cool AI things. But more importantly, is to understand: are you ready for AI, and are you managing your risk for that data? Because it's a unique set of things that we need to do to protect privacy and security around AI tools and usage of your data than it is for anything else. And that's why at the beginning I broke it down into those two things: chat-based stuff, conversation, thought partnership stuff, and then things that are actually automations and AI employees that are integrated into your data. go nuts. Be careful what you paste into your AI tools. But that has less risk, right, than implementing some of these AI automations willy-nilly. Now, with that said, of course, part of the AI GPA is to help us understand risk around, what are your teams doing? Are they all have free versions of ChatGPT and are uploading all of your sensitive data in there to query? Those are the things that we're trying to prepare and protect against. Anything else? I hope this was helpful. And again, those of you that we are doing AI GPAs, we're going through that process. We have some cool things coming out with the demo environments. And we're always looking for ideas for this call too. So if there's something you want me to demo, test, try, show, please reach out to myself, underneath Noah, Amber, and we'll try to make time for that and get it on the agenda.
Yeah.
And if you guys have ideas, or if you guys are doing something super cool with AI that you think that other people would find valuable, please let us know, and we'll put you on the hot seat a little bit in a friendly way to show what you've been doing. All right. Well, if there's nothing else.
We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.